So this module is about idea generation with the perspective of creativity and innovation. So these are the learning objectives of this lecture. Like at the end of this module, we are going to understand the concept of creativity and innovation and what's the difference between them, and then different idea generation techniques that we can apply. Some very basic one. We'll talk about them. And later on, the more exhaustive one, we are going to have separate modules onto them. And we'll see how to conduct the customer interviews to discover the ideas as well. So what is creativity? Creativity, we commonly use this term, and creativity is actually an ability to generate novel, useful, and original ideas. Novelty means like it's a new sort of an idea, or there is some sort of a differentiation in this idea from the existing one. And that idea is going to be useful as well. There is going to be a certain use of that idea, and it should be an original idea. So what are the key elements of the creativity, like how we can become more creative? It's through imagination. Like we are thinking, we are imagining the things, ideas and their solutions. Then curiosity. These both of these things, they are really, really very important for the creativity. Like you need to have imagination and you need to have curiosity as well. Like you're curious about the things, like, okay, I want to solve this, or what sort of problems are there. First, you're going to be curious about it, like what sort of problems the people they are facing, and then you're going to solve those problems. And in order to solve those problems, you're going to need the problem solving skills, like how you are going to solve this thing. And a very important thing is you need to have open thinking as well. Otherwise, the creativity cannot be achieved, because you should be open for different type of ideas, for very wild ideas, and also open to think in terms of not doing unnecessary criticism as well. Yes, you need to evaluate the ideas, you need to carefully considerate about them, but at the same time, it's very important, like once you are working in groups, so it should not be too much too much criticism on the ideas generated by the others. So creative entrepreneurs, they often challenge existing assumptions, and this what the entrepreneur has been doing. Like the people, they start making assumption, okay, this thing can only be done by this method or this technique. But what the entrepreneurs do, they come up with new ideas, and then they deliver very disruptive solutions at many occasions. So what is innovation? So innovation is like you're trying to do some sort of creativity, and you're coming up with a lot of ideas. So innovation is to convert those creative ideas into some reality. Okay. And that reality could be in terms of some valuable product. It could be a service or some improved process as well. So innovation, it involves technology, like what sort of technology is available and what sort of technological solutions you can give. And then market needs, how much market need is there, and is there any need or not, and how much is it? And then value creation, like what sort of value you're going to create. And value creation is highly related with your customers' pain point as well, like how much painful they are. So the more painful they are, and the product could be more better in terms of value creation. So like for these three, four types of things that we discussed before, we can have the innovation. For example, we can have a product innovation. So for a product innovation, we are going to come up with new or improved products. An example could be like long ago, we got a very good innovation in terms of smartphones. Then we can have a processing, and we for every day we are coming up with new and new innovations as well. It could be a hardware product or a hardware technology, or it could be a software application as well. Then the process innovation, in which we improve the existing process. For example, we can do the automation. There is something which was manually being done. So what we can do is we automate the process. For example, your registration in the university can be done automatically instead of students doing that. And if again, if the GP and everything is fine, so you can do that. Then business model innovation, which is done to new ways to deliver values. So you do have a certain business model, business processes, so you can improve them. It could be any type of business process. For example, student registration process, you can improve that. Uh, Examination process in the university, you can improve that. Similarly, for example, let's talk about a software engineering model. So you can improve that process model as well. Then technology innovation. So you can come up with new technological solutions. For example, you are now bringing in the AI tools in your existing products, which were, yes, automated and were doing a lot of things, but now you're bringing that thing into your innovation. So if we look at what's the difference between creativity and innovation, or what's the relationship? So the creativity is the basis for innovation. So what the creativity does, it generate new ideas, whereas innovation is all about implementing those creative ideas. Creativity deals with the imagination, like you are thinking about something, you are generating those ideas, whereas the innovation is the execution of those innovations. So whatever you have been thinking, imagination is going to execute that. Creativity is a thinking process, whereas innovation is a practical application of those thoughts. And then similarly, the creativity is a concept development, whereas innovation is the development of some real solution, which is going to be marketable as well, based on like your customers. So importance of creativity is there, too much importance is there for the entrepreneurs, because the entrepreneurs, they require problem solving. They have to discover the opportunities, what sort of opportunities exist there, what sort of problems are there. So they need to first identify the problem. They are going to solve those problems, and then in order to solve those problems, they need to have innovative thinking. So for that, they certainly need those creative skills, and eventually they are going to do the value creation. So the creative thinking, it enables entrepreneurs to develop unique solution. We talk about in the previous module about a unique value proposition. So you are going to create unique values once you are going to have more and more creative thinking. And then based on that, they are going to differentiate their startups from the existential solutions which exist in the market. And they can identify the unmet customer needs as well. So creative entrepreneurs, what they can do is they can identify the hidden opportunities that they are there. They can build the new solutions, and they can have a competitive advantages over their competitors, and they can really disrupt industries. So examples could be, very good examples are Uber, Airbnb, Netflix, Food Panda, and there are so many other examples which has really created a huge disruption. Barriers to creativity. This is very important because, okay, actually do not have much of the creative nature, not much curiosity. You can try to build that. But very important is some very common human traits which are actually barrier to creativity. So these barriers are fear of failure. It's very common among the humans. So you need to be really, really, very much particular about it, that you should not have a fear of failure. You have to eliminate that if it is there, or you have to reduce that. Because if you're going to have a fear of failure, then you are going to fail. It's a big problem. So you need to reduce or eliminate that thing. Then lack of curiosity. Curiosity is the backbone of creativity. Okay, so if you do not have a curiosity, how you are going to come up with very innovative solutions? So that's why you need to have a curiosity. And then organizational rigidity, like you are rigid on to some particular solution. You're not open for new type of ideas, then it's going to be a problem within your organization. Then time pressure, you're taking a lot of pressure of time that, okay, the time is running out and this and that. So many creative solutions, they get affected by these time pressures. And a very important area, which is risk aversion, like you are trying to avoid the risk. You're not willing to take high risk. So for the entrepreneurs, it's very important that they should have this capability to take high risks. Otherwise, you will not try to go into an area जो कि बड़े क्रिएटिव हैं या बड़े डिफरेंट हैं या जिनसे you can create new disruptions. So, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you must have to overcome these barriers. So, how you can improve your creativity? Very important is read widely, and this is in general very important that you have to read widely, because if you read more, you will have more and more understanding of a lot of things, and then you can come up with so many creative ideas. Then you need to be a good observer. So you have to observe the problems. Okay. So you need to keep observing. That's how you're going to figure out the problems. And how you're going to figure out the problem, it's very important that you do have a very good knowledge base. That is going to come if you have been reading widely. Then collaborate with diverse people. It often happens that we collaborate or we meet with only with the people whom we are comfortable with. So you need to collaborate with diverse people. Then you have to practice brainstorming. This is very, very important. And we are going to use different type of techniques. Some of the brainstorming is going to be there. So you brainstorm, you sit together, you discuss the ideas, you think about it, you do discussions. So this is all about the brainstorming. And keep an idea notebook. So wherever you go, whenever you are going, you're traveling, you're sitting, you can write down your ideas. And then ask what if questions. Yes, what if we do it like this? Okay, so what if it become very successful? Okay, you can think about what if it gets failed, but that's okay. But it should be more about thinking about the success. What if I do it like this? What if we try to do it like this? So these practices or these things, they can improve your creativity, and these are the things among which you can apply as a checkpoint while you are doing any creative process. So we do have different creative thinking techniques. The entrepreneurs, they can improve creativity using brainstorming, which they can sit together and they talk to each other. Then mind mapping, then scamper techniques. You can also do customer interviews and design thinking. Like I said, we are going to have a complete module on to design thinking. We are going to see scamper technique in a while. Customer interview, you already know, like we are going to obviously identify the customers and going to conduct customer interviews. And during those interviews, we can have some open-ended question and then we can have some close-ended questions as well. Then mind mapping is that whatever you are thinking, you can just put it onto the paper and you can create your mind maps. So how to generate ideas? Now, this is what we already almost know, that idea generation requires identifying the problems, exploring the trends, observing customer behaviors, studying technological changes, and combining existing idea. So the idea generation process could look like first we are going to do the problem discovery, in which we are going to identify the problems which exist in the market. For that, then we are going to do the idea generation. So we are going to come up with multiple type of solutions. Then we are going to evaluate those solutions, and then we are going to select the best idea. And then we are going to test that best idea. And the first process in order to test that idea, and the most important one, is do the customer validation. So we are going to validate that idea with the customers and how much they like, are they going to use it, are they going to pay it. So we are going to ask all these type of things to the customer. This is part of the validation process. So what are the rules for effective idea generation? The first and the very important one is avoid criticism. You need to give the feedback. You need to be a bit critical, but don't do unnecessary criticism. This really kills the creativity. Okay. So once you are sitting in a brainstorming session, you're talking with each other and you are coming up with ideas. Okay, first let the people come up with their ideas, because if you start immediately arguing onto that and you start criticizing onto that idea, that is really going to kill the creativity, because the people then they will be reluctant to further share ideas. And never say that this idea is stupid or this is like this. Okay, if some idea does not carry much of the value and the other idea could be more valuable, but still you should not do that. Another very common problem as a human perspective in this area is like humans, they generally really own their idea. So if you're sitting in a brainstorming session and there are 4 or 5 people sitting, so anyone, whoever is generating an idea, in most of the cases, they really think that that idea is is the greatest idea and that should be selected as a solution to solve a particular problem. So once everyone thinks so, everyone is owning that idea. So that creates a problem. So you need to open for thinking. You need to be open for discussion and eventually, yes, some sort of criticism as well. I mean, a critique. Otherwise, this is going to create a problem, and that's a very common mistake. I mean, it's not only about this idea generation; it also exists in our societies and in our personal lives as well. So you need to be really much careful about it. And then you need to encourage wild ideas. Wild ideas, at many occasions, they are very innovative. And at many occasions, wild ideas in normal settings, they look either stupid or they look unpractical or something like that. But you need to encourage wild ideas because they could be really in areas where you can create disruptions. You can build on others' ideas. Yes, someone has given an idea and you can further improve that idea and you can tell, oh, yeah, why not? Yes, this is good and why not to do it like this? And a very important thing is quantity. Generate many ideas. So you need to first focus on quantity, generate a lot of ideas, then start it brainstorming instead of, converging. Because if you come up with one idea and say, oh, wow, it's a great idea, and then you're working on to that, it might kill the creativity. So you need to come up with many ideas. So how do you evaluate the value of idea? One of the criteria is that the customer need, like, does it really solve a problem which a customer is facing? The idea to solve that problem is not exactly solving that thing. And sometimes you assume a lot of things. That's another challenge. Like you think, okay, yes, customer might be having this problem, or customer might be thinking like this. So instead of doing that, it's better to have a good customer discovery and customer interviews. Then, very important thing is, we discussed it before as well, it's the market size. If the market size is feasible, it's large enough, then you will go for solving that problem. And then feasibility, there are technological solutions available, or there are technologies available to solve this problem, or there are finances available, there is time available. And so you are going to see different types of feasibility, particularly technology and financial feasibility, yeah, that, whether it can be developed or not. And then eventually, once you will develop that and you will made it to the market, uh, we will see that how much profitability is going to be there. So is it going to generate revenues, and whether those revenues are going to surpass your expenses to generate some profits. So we are going to see all this. So what are the techniques for idea generation? It's the same like what we saw before, like the brainstorming, in which the teams, they sit together, they come up with the ideas, they do discussion, they can write those ideas again, they reiterate, and they can do more discussions. Then customer interviews are very important, because you can, I mean, conduct them to identify the ideas. Then eventually at the end you're going to validate those ideas. Then scamper method, which we are seeing in a while. Then mind mapping. In the mind maps, what you do is you generate idea or anything that comes into your mind, you start writing that. And there are even multiple tools available on which you generate the mind maps as well. It's a very good technique. I also commonly use it whenever I'm doing some sort of an ideation. So I start writing that. And then trend analysis, like what sort of trends are there, so you can see them, and based on that you can come up with the ideas as well. So brainstorming, like I said to you, it's a group activity technique to generate large number of ideas. And some of the very important characteristics for a good brainstorming is that the discussions, they should be very open. And the participants, they should be free to think what sort of ideas they are having. And you have to avoid the criticism immediately, especially immediate criticism. Later on you can do, and criticism means like you are critical about that thing and you're critically evaluating that thing. So that should be a very constructive criticism, not the criticism for the sake of criticism. So in the brainstorming process, typically what you do is you define the problem, you identify the challenges together, then you generate the ideas. And so in that, you are going to encourage free thinking. Then you're going to record those ideas. You're going to write them down or record in terms of audio recording, whatever. And then eventually you are going to evaluate those ideas and going to select the best idea in terms of solution. Customer interviews, they help the entrepreneur to understand real problems. They help to validate the assumptions and discover unmet needs. And this is part of customer discovery. I already discussed about it. So what sort of questions typically you can ask in a customer interview? You can ask like, what sort of challenges do you face in this process? So you're going to ask this to a customer. Or how do you currently solve this problem? So you are going to see that what sort of problems they are having. So you are identifying this thing, and then later on you're asking them that how they are currently dealing with this problem. And then you are asking that, okay, once you are dealing with this problem, this is the problem we got. This is how you are dealing with this problem. So what are the challenges? What are the frustrations that you have about the existing solution? So this is the thing that you are going to, the typical thing that you are going to do in an interview process. So I reiterate. So first thing is that what sort of problem the customer is having, how they are solving that problem, and what are the problems associated with that problem, like what sort of frustrations are there, or the challenges are there, which they are facing in terms of solving that problem. So this is the customer discovery process. So we do have first customer interview. So we conduct that customer interview. Then we, after doing that interviews, we gather the statistics. After statistics, we get the insights. And then we do the problem validation, whether this problem exists or not. And then we do the idea development. So this is what all we can do is we can have a customer discovery process. After having a complete customer discovery process for the idea development, then we can apply the brainstorming, we can use the SCAMPER technique, or we can do the design thinking as well. So what is SCAMPER? SCAMPER is a creativity technique which is typically being used to modify existing ideas. Okay, so SCAMPER is commonly being used to modify existing ideas. There is some problem and there are some existing solutions to that. So what you're trying to do is you are trying to modify that existing solution. SCAMPER, it stands for substitute, combine, adopt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse. So if you see them, so what is substitute? In substitute, we have to replace a part, material, or process with something else. So we are going to replace something from the existing idea, okay? Then combine, so we are going to join elements, ideas, or functions together in a new way, okay? So you can come up with a new type of solutions for that thing. And then adopt, and so you can modify something to better suit to new purpose, person, or the context. And then modify, in which you enlarge, reduce, change the shape, or alter the attributes of the existing product. And it can be a small change or it can be a big change, so it really depends. Then you can also do that. You've got an existing problem and its solution, so you put to another use. So rather than you changing the thing itself, you are changing the context it is going to be applied. And then in eliminate, you remove elements, or you make the things very simplified and pare down to essentials. it could be that the less is more. And reverse. So you flip the script, reorder your priorities, and then you can invert cause and effect and turn it all upside down. So if you see it with an example, for example, you could have a grocery or food delivery solution, existing solution, in which there are people who takes your order and then they get it delivered. So what you can do is you can substitute the delivery vehicle that you are already using with some delivery boy with the drones. And this is what has started happening. Then you can combine, instead of having separate apps for grocery and food delivery, you can combine the both solutions, grocery and food delivery at one. Then adapt. So you are using AI-based route optimization solutions. Then you can modify. So you can have a faster delivery options. Then you can put to use, which means you can put it in another context. So instead of only delivering grocery and delivery, you started using that thing for delivering the medicines as well. And eliminate, you remove the delivery fee, and reverses that it's not at the home delivery. And what if you have seen these drone-based delivery, what commonly they do is they have some smart locker type of places where they do the deliver that thing, and you get that delivery from that point. So it's not that the thing is going to be ultimately available at the customer's home. It's going to be somewhere nearby place. So they have to go there and they have to pick it from there. But the thing is that it's going to be very, very fast because all the process is automated. And I mean, Amazon is doing that. Like if you get it in certain areas, you got that thing. So what you're doing is you pick that, the drone picks that thing immediately and set on sale and delivers it there. So maybe within 25 minutes, your order has been delivered. So you have to go there and you have to pick your order. So you can have different types of other cases. So, for example, a creative startup idea could be that the students they struggle with lecture notes. So you can have what? A creative solution, AI-powered note summarization app. So you do have an AI-powered application which is going to summarize the notes for you. And the innovation is what? So you're going to have automatic lecture, transcription plus summarization. And if you have seen here, even in Microsoft Teams, which we are using for delivering this lecture, it automatically generates a transcription now. For some, it's been this feature is there for some time now. So whatever we are talking, it's going to generate a transcription of that thing. So even you can use that, and later on, even you can use that transcription of other use as well. For example, you can use it to AI tool, and you can generate the summary of this lecture as well. So this can be really very, very productive for you. Okay, so we can have this idea generation workshop. Unfortunately, since the mode is right now going into an online mode, so we are going to do this. So what you have to do is you have to form a group of 3, and you have to identify a problem which is commonly been faced by student. You have to use a SCAMPER technique, and then you have to generate 5 ideas as well. Okay, you can create 5 different ideas.